How do you style your text in SwiftUI? To change the text style of a font, you simply add the font modifier, and you can say font dot, and you can have body, or callout, or caption, or headline, or large title. And so I'm going to do large title. Now, you actually don't need this font class name here because it knows that's what it wants. So you can just do font.large title, and here's what you'll get here. To change the weight of the font, you just add the modifier font weight, and then you have black, bold, heavy, etc. I'll do bold, and there you go. But another way to do this in Xcode is to hold down Control and Option and click on the element that you want to change, and then you can just change it in this visual interface right here. So I can change this to back to body, for example. There you go. And I can change this to another weight if I wanted, let's say black. So that's another way that you can just really quickly change things. You notice that as I was changing them here in the UI, that they changed in the code as well. So that's convenient. Let's say that you have a long line of text. Let's say lorem ipsum dolor sit amet sectectur, okay, however that goes. I'll just copy it. Again, there we go. Let's say we have a really long line of text. Well, if you want, I'll actually remove this font weight as well. If you want, you can define the line limit. And so the line limit, if you just say 1, then you can see that it will just make this one line of text and it will truncate it for you. So that's convenient as well. So let me remove that. Of course, you can change the foreground color of the text, and for this one I'll do pink. And if you want, you can change the background color. So background color .black, and that will change the background color here. And we can add some padding in here. By default, iOS uses a font called San Francisco, but there are a lot of other default fonts that are available to you. But instead of specifying body and have that define the size of my font, I can also change the size of the font manually. So I can say font.system size 36, for example. And there you go. I can change the font manually like that. Another thing I can add in here is this parameter label of design. And in design, I can choose different fonts that come with the system automatically. So this is a monospace font. I can also do a serif font. And lastly, there's a rounded font as well. All of these fonts are kind of variations on San Francisco, except for the serif font, I suppose. So those are some options that are available to you as well. I'm going to go back to just a regular body font. Another thing that's available to you is just italic. So you can make them italic. You can do strike through. So that's strike through. You can also have underline, just like that. How about alignment? So with alignment, you can say multi-line text alignment, and you can do dot center. Let's change this text a bit so it'll be easier to see. There you go. And instead of dot center, you could also do dot leading or dot trailing. Now, why doesn't Apple use dot left or dot right? Wouldn't that be easier? Well, in English, that is very normal for us to see it left aligned like this. But dot leading may be right aligned in a different language. So in Arabic, for example, they read right to left, and so dot leading would start on the right side instead. And so it's very convenient if you're doing internationalization to just define it as leading or trailing, and then SwiftUI just automatically takes care of all of those alignment issues for you. So that is alignment. Now, what happens when you only want to add a text style to one of the words or to a few of the words within this paragraph? Well, you can do that by combining modified text. So here's how you may think of doing that. I'm going to wrap this text inside of a group because I want to put multiple things inside of here. Okay, and I'll format my code. Now, let's say I want this dolor right here to be a different text style. So to do that, I'm going to create different blocks of text, and I'll speed up the video. Now I'm going to take these modifiers here and place them at the level of the group instead. There we go. Now for this dolor, if we wanted to make it bold, for example, we could just add the bold modifier, and there it is. We need to add some spacing in here. There we go. I could also add a dot underline, and if I wanted to, I could also change the font style as well. Dot system, size 17, design, dot serif. There we go. So now this is a serif font as well. Now, whenever you have a different modifier for the child, then the modifier on the child will override what the parent gives it. So if I were to take this line right here and apply it to the parent, for example, then it would apply it to all of the children. So that's how that would work. And those are a few tips for how to style your text in SwiftUI.